I just want to first start out by saying Henry Cavill's hair in this movie is hysterically awesome. Let's just say that. Comment down below, what did you think of this film, Argylle? Let me know your thoughts and comments on Argylle down below in the comment section. And while you're down there, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content as well. Today we're talking about the 2024 action, crime, comedy, spy thriller film, Argylle. Ellie Conway, an introverted spy novelist, is drawn into the real world of espionage when her novels are hitting a little too close to the activity of a real underground crime syndicate. Aiden, a real spy, helps her navigate through being plunged into a covert world where nothing and no one is what it seems to be.
I need her to write the next chapter.
Matthew Vaughn, who had directed a few really great action films in the past, like The Kingsman, The Secret Service, X-Men First Class, Kick-Ass, and Layer Cake. He's got these really great films. He can be a hit or miss. Did he miss on this one, or did he hit? For me, overall, this movie was a big bowl of meh. There's some aspects to it that I enjoy, like the cast. I absolutely love Sam Rockwell, he's one of my favorite actors. Samuel L. Jackson, Ariana DeBose, Henry Cavill, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, and the list goes on and on. It is a phenomenal cast.
Impressive. Very nice.
The problem is that I think that's where they spent the majority of the budget for this film, is the casting of this movie. The actors alone were astonishing, but they didn't put that much into the actual rest of the movie, it felt like. Or at least what I could see on screen. But he has a tendency to lean into the stylistic version of filmmaking a bit too often sometimes. And that is my number one problem with this film, Argylle, is that it is too stylistic. And I can't believe I'm saying that for someone who loves stylistic filmmaking and likes those kind of action scenes. This movie just felt kind of like The Kingsman, The Golden Circle, where the action was so poorly CGI'd. It looked terrible. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't really that entertaining in the end. The fight scenes were just kind of like, okay. What they did with them and the set pieces, like, none of it just seemed to work really well. And this might have been a movie that also was affected heavily by COVID and the making of it. And I think I could feel that at times because it looks like this whole movie was shot on a soundstage, like in a green screen room. It's too bad, because if they had just chosen to put a few more real set pieces in this movie and didn't quite have all the editing tricks that they try and do in this film, I think this movie just would have been a little bit better overall in the end and would have flowed nicer, would have looked better. But this movie looked cheap. The CGI was pretty bad at times. The story itself was so convoluted and so confusing, and a lot happens, and sometimes it doesn't get paid off. And I just kept shaking my head being like, what is happening? Where are we right now?
Where are we?
And part of it is the directing, part of it is the style and the tone of the film, a part of it is the writing, a part of it is like how it was edited together. Like, it wants to be a spy film, but it's also not. It subverts it, and it also, you know, jumps right into the cliches of it. Has a little bit of comedy in the film, at least it tries to be funny, and maybe tries a bit too hard, and that's part of the problem. But the comedy was off for most of the movie, kind of just a little bit bland. There is also the fact of Bryce Dallas Howard, who I do think is a pretty good actor, but felt miscasted in this role. Like, she just doesn't fit this. I get her as a writer, as a, you know, someone who is struggling with their craft, and not as much as like in the spy world and being, you know, involved with all these agents and gunplay and shooting and stuff like that. She just doesn't come across as believable in that. And then with everything that happens in the movie, it's so hard to connect with this character and really dive deep into her and why we like her. And we more just feel like we're kind of watching the ride happen instead of really getting to experience the ride, if that makes any sense.
What are you talking about?
And that's too bad, because I love Matthew Vaughn. I had high expectations for this film, even though the trailers, which this trailer was just shoved down everyone's throat. Like, I saw this movie trailer probably 10 times in like 5 days.
Choke on it. Till they choke on it.
So the over promoting of this movie always gives me pause. Anytime a film is just like being shoved down our throats, it really makes me think the movie isn't very good, and that's why they have to promote it so much, so that at least they can try and make back some money, you know? I was not wrong on this movie. It was pretty much a letdown on every aspect, besides, like I said, the actors in the film. And I wanted to love it so much because a spy thriller film about a novelist, about a writer, and then like all the twists and turns you can have, like, I'm down. That on paper, that sounds great. No, it just wasn't quite for me. I could see a lot of people really enjoying this movie and just thinking, yeah, it's a fun romp, and you know, you're thinking about it too much. But for me, looking at all the technical aspects and the filmmaking itself and how the story ended up unfolding, I just couldn't quite get along for the ride. For me, this movie just doesn't work for either an action movie, a spy film, or a movie about a writer. It kind of just does all three, like halfway there and not quite fully pull the trigger, excuse the pun, but it doesn't quite pull the trigger on any of those genres or really executes any of the stories fully. It doesn't flesh anything out, and it feels rushed. Before I get my final thoughts on this film, make sure you click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Comment down below, what did you think of Argylle? Do you totally disagree with me and think this is a fantastic film? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. So overall, I did have like a decent time with this movie. I didn't hate it, but I certainly didn't love it. I didn't even really enjoy it that much. So overall, I'm gonna go ahead and give the film Argylle a C+. Thank you so much for checking out Mr. Teach Film Preach. I know there's lots of other review channels out there. The fact that you come back always and check out this one is so appreciative. It means so much to me. Come back and check out some other reviews, such as my top 10 films of 2023, my most anticipated films of 2024. Have a great day, everyone. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get taught.